The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted all of us, and it's also impacted many of our homeless population. To talk about the challenges of our homeless, the working poor, and those with addictions is Ken Kissick. He is the co-founder of Streets Alive Mission in Lethbridge. Ken, so great to have you back on again today. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So Ken, before we get into anything about COVID, we have had some bitterly cold days and weeks this winter, especially back around the holidays. It was pretty bad back then. Can you explain how weather like that impacts our homeless population?
Well, obviously, the homeless population doesn't have the opportunity to get in and stay in like we would. Um, the nature of the addiction is that takes priority over any kind of even safety or those kinds of things. So they get out in the weather and they usually aren't properly dressed. Um, their eating habits are such that they can lose energy fast in the cold weather. So um, creating warming centers and places for them to stay and trying to keep them inside is good, as well as trying to make sure that they're adequately dressed is very important.
Definitely. Now, how can viewers help your organization Streets Alive? What kinds of donations do you need to help in cold weather like this?
Well, we're always constantly looking for uh, warm clothes. Obviously, the biggest thing we usually need in cold weather are the things that cover. We need like warm boots or socks, mitts and gloves and toques. Generally, if you can keep your extremities warm, your ability to the rest of you kind of stays warm. And they're good at layering, but we go through a ton of gloves and socks and toques, so that's one of the things that we usually desperately need.
I can imagine. Now, speaking of cold, you have your annual event called Coldest Night of the Year. It's a walk. It's coming up February 26th. Now, Ken, can you tell us what this is all about and how viewers can help and also get involved?
So this is an annual event, and I think it's 10 or 12 years that we've been doing it now. It is a way for individuals and families to join together and raise some money and awareness of the cold. We do a walk, 2K or 5K. We've partnered with Land O'Lakes Golf Course, so it gives us a challenge to be able to self-distance and those kinds of things. People want to help. They just need to go to type into your searcher Coldest Night of the Year / Lethbridge, and it'll take you to the website and it'll walk you through whatever you need to do. You can set up teams, join a team, and it's all interactive online, so you can uh, you can raise sponsors. You don't have to go door to door. You just send invites out and people can join up. It's a lot of fun. We're looking for 250 to 300 people. We have walks in the morning and the afternoon, so you can kind of pick when you want to come. And like you say, it's a beautiful kind of walk in and around the golf course. So we look forward to it. It's a lot of fun.
Sounds nice, definitely, and hopefully it won't be too cold, even though it's called Coldest Night of the Year, and that's basically what it's all about. It's just to kind of remind us this population has to go through, basically on a daily basis, right? Now, Ken, what about the Omicron wave of COVID? I know we've talked COVID so much in the past, but how is this impacting our homeless population?
Um, the reality is our homeless population their their immune systems are really strange, and we're not seeing much of it at all in the population. A lot of them had the original um,
Variant, I guess.
wave, the
hmm
variant, whatever the first one was, and there's a level of immunity in that. If any of them have been incarcerated or anything like that, they're automatically fully vaccinated.
Wow.
So we're not experiencing that. And in the beginning, we kind of some of our staff uh, got caught in it, and so right now it's not affecting us hardly at all. And so we're very grateful and blessed by God for that.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say that's a wonderful blessing if you're not affected at all. I would imagine that, like you said, some of your workers got caught in it. And has it affected volunteers at all?
Yes, obviously, a lot of our core volunteers are seniors, okay, and so they've been, protecting themselves, and they're a bit of a stay away. Although we have a pretty steady group, and with the new repurposed center being moved, that's separate from the mission, and it's not open to the population. It's only open to agencies. We're building our volunteer corps back because it's kind of a safer environment, both from the population and from Omicron.
Yeah, I think volunteerism across the board has sort of taken a step back because, like you said, a lot of them are seniors and they do have those health issues. And unfortunately, they've had to take a step back from volunteering. So, are you needing more volunteers or extra volunteers at this point?
We can always use volunteers. There's a variety of ways to volunteer. You can simply go online to streetsalive.ca, find volunteerism. There's an application, and we'll get you in the system.
Sounds great. Now, have you noticed an increase in the homeless population or in the number of addictions because of the pandemic, Ken?
Um, yes, but not because of the pandemic. Uh, it's because of the opioid crisis. Okay, um, I think that there's certainly a modest increase in the number of people experiencing homelessness through economic reasons, but that's the addiction thing is huge, and we're losing people almost daily, and that is creating the big problem. And definitely, our street numbers are up over the past couple of years. Now, the COVID crisis may have caused issues that force people into addiction, um, and we are experiencing that. But it is the opioid crisis that is really central right now.
Wow. With every bad story like that, I mean, that's just heartbreaking. There's got to be some success stories as well. Are you able to maybe share some success stories?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Um, our 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 recovery programs, uh, men and women, Genesis and Exodus, uh, we are full. Um, so we have approximately, between both programs, we have well over 30 people in our recovery. We have a number of people through our recovery program that are right now, we've in the men's program, we've got 10 guys who've done a year sobriety in a year. We've got a number of guys that are in 90-day programs. Um, there is no question that when we work to bring people to recovery, especially through the gospel of Christ, there is huge success. I currently we employ 6 people out of those that have come out of the program, and so and others have returned to work. Other places. We've got a couple of guys that are over 2 years now. They've been reconnected with their children. It's just very exciting. So yes, there is success, and there's success in the community. We've got Alpha House with their program. Fresh Start South Country with their program, SAMS. We're all working together to make a dent in this crisis, but it's still very significant, and it's very expensive.
Ugh, I would imagine. Is that another way that viewers can help?
Absolutely. I mean, financial resources are key for us. I mean, to be perfectly honest, though, one of the number one things that we are desperate for that our viewers can help with is prayer. There is only one way to solve this problem, and that's through the intervention of God and Christ. And so, prayer would be our number one priority and our number one need.
hmm Now, you had mentioned, of course, these wonderful programs that Streets Alive conducts, which is Exodus Men's Life Recovery Program and then Genesis Women's Life Recovery Program. And you mentioned some success stories there. Can you maybe explain what happens here at these programs, just so our viewers understand a little bit better?
Yeah. Um, both programs are what we call recovery programs, and the programs have a combination of uh, ac- classes and activities and things that are centered around life skills. They're centered around uh, giving people tools, in other words, to deal with it. But one of the keys for us is we have involved in the program is also the things that chases after the core issues. Almost all addicts are there because of a trauma or traumas that they've experienced in their life at some point, and that's the thing that a lot of our problems, our programs go after. And of course, we do it. They're faith-based and Christ-centered, and so it's really getting them to let Christ in. But if we can deal with that original trauma, that's where the success comes from. It's
Wow.
healing,
Yeah.
and once people are healed, they're way better.
Wow. It sounds like a lot of counseling goes in there. That's amazing.
It's counseling with love. You got to have a lot of love and a lot of patience. But when we started 30 years ago, when we were dealing with alcohol and paint thinner and hairspray, we had time. With the opioid crisis, we can have a person that relapses. We bring them in and they relapse, and they're dead the next day. Just there is no room anymore. So we are very focused on, when we get people in, keeping them in and keeping them moving forward, because the relapse can be deadly.
Oh, God, it's just amazing the work that you guys are doing. Now, a big part of helping to turn some people's lives around is providing a solid education as well. We talked about counseling with love, but now there's also education. So let's talk about the Ask Learning Center. So ASK Learning Center. What's that all about?
Well, so Ask has been rolled into Genesis Connect, and Ask was primarily the recovery system. Okay, but again, within those programs that we teach, we also work towards offering them and moving them into moving forward. So the recovery programs are 3 stages. Stage 1 and 2 focus on they're living in housing. We're working with them. There's daily classes and all of those opportunities. Stages 3 and 4 are when we've moved them out into either part-time work or education. So we've had a couple of women who've gone back to university. We've had men who now are completing their journey. Their journeyman tickets, those kinds of things. We're working with Training Inc. and some of the other places where we can feed people in. So we're not trying to be a one-stop shop. We use the resources of the community, but and Genesis Connect is a separate women's building. Okay, and we do what we call DIY there. So they do arts and stuff like that, but we have stuff that they're selling. Different things that they do, journals and things that they make. So everything helps to build their esteem and their value in themselves.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing, Ken. I just love the work that you're doing. One thing that I can affect the common person, what do you say to people who aren't sure how to act or how to respond when they're approached by someone who is homeless? I mean, this has happened to everybody.
Um, Number one, there's a tendency to want to give them money to just get them to go away. Don't. Um, they will appear aggressive, okay, and it's okay to be able to just kind of firmly say, look, give me some space. What is it you need? Okay. Are you hungry? And if they're hungry, you can get them something. The biggest they can do thing is just refer them. Say, look, most of them come to Streets Alive. Just say, go to Streets Alive. I support Streets Alive. I provide funding to them, so you go there and get your help. Okay. Um, eh, our that's really the best thing you can do. Plus, go to the soup kitchen, go to Alpha House. Just say, and if you support those organizations, and I hope you do, then just say, this is who I support. So go there, because that's how I help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would imagine the basic needs, though, for these people on the street are the food, the clothing, the shelter, encouragement, helping in beating their addictions. That still needs to be the number one key there. And like you said, send them to Streets Alive. We're better a place for them to get the help and the love that they need. Absolutely. Yeah. Do you want to put in another quick little plug for coldest night of the year? It's coming
Yes,
up February
coldest night of the year.
26th.
Please, it's a great family event. So this is something where you can bring your kids out, you can bring your grandkids out, you can all sign up. If you do the 5K walk, it's about 45 minutes, and there's hot chocolate stations and all that kind of stuff, and so it's a great way to get out for and spend an hour or two and raise some money for Streets Alive. So coldest night of the year / Lethbridge. Join a team, make up a team. If you have any questions at all, you can call Streets Alive and ask for Jennifer or Allie, and they would be glad to help you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ken, for speaking with us today. Appreciate having you on again.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.